Hello again, Classic 80s fanboy here, hoping that you and your family had a fantastic new year. And let's hope that 2021 now is better than 2020, because let's just be honest, last year was a bit stupid and ridiculous, wasn't it? This is the first of a few videos I'm going to make over the next coming days, which I'll post online. And I thought I'd do this one as quite a special one. And the next few videos I'm going to do are going to be of my favourite collection pieces that I have so far. So what I'm going to do is pause the camera, turn it around, and then we'll get straight in. But what I will say is this first one that I'm going to show you is my wife's. She has this one, and unfortunately it doesn't work, so I can't show you it fully working. However, my one does. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video around and spin it around. See you in a minute. So this is what I wanted to show you. We're going to look at K9. Now this K9 is K9 Mark III, I do believe, and it was featured on the episode School Reunion in David Tennant's era, with Elizabeth Sladen playing Sarah Jane. And at the end of the episode, K9 sacrifices his life, and the Doctor rebuilds him. So when the TARDIS dematerializes, Sarah Jane is left with a new version of K9, and this is it here. K9, if you don't know or not aware, is voiced by the legendary voice actor and actor John Leeson. And I'll talk about him in a little while because I've got something else that's very special to me. So usually when you put the batteries in K9, his side opens up. You can see all his innards underneath. There's a switch down the bottom there. You would turn it. When it comes, sometimes it would be in the try me mode, but it's got 3 set: try me, off, and on. So the try me mode does work. So excuse the hand if I just switch it on. If you press this button here, his face lights up. So let me just turn it around, so you can see. So try not to put my hand in front of the camera. Silly boy. Right, so when you press this button on the side, it comes up with a variety of phrases. Unfortunately, due to the K9 not working, his gun keeps poking out all the time because that's on a separate motor. So when you try and push it in, it'll just push it back out again. It doesn't take it back in. However, on my other one, you'll see that it's actually in until you switch them on, and then you can press the buttons, it'll make noises. But this one, just for some reason, I think a lot of people had problems with this one when it came out. A lot of people were saying online that they only had theirs for a couple of weeks, and then it would just start intermittently and keep breaking down all the time. So the second version I'll show you is the better version. But I'm just going to give you a look round quickly. So all we'll do is pop the side cover back on because I don't think he's going to start up. No, he's not going to start up, but the other one will. So the other one does exactly the same as this one. However, I will say that down here you've got 3 lights that are supposed to come on, blue, and on my other one the lights do not come on. So let's talk a little bit about this K9 before I get the other one out. This one was made in 2007, and when it was first made, it had a remote control like this. So it had the aerial, which pulled out, extended. It had the Doctor Who logo on there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's just try and put it back so you can see it. There you go. the Doctor Who logo in grey, K9, and it was capable of saying all these phrases. So when you push the button, K9 would say any one of these phrases. And the bottom one that says, I'll just try and put my thumb there, extend and retract blaster. When you press the button the first time, the laser would come out of his nose. Press it again, it would retract it. Okay, so there is the controls. And apparently once the K9, I can get the K9 working, this control doesn't work. So you switch it on, put batteries in, switch it on, and it just doesn't want to do anything. So I don't know if it's because there's an interpretive fault with this as well. But we don't use this one. I clean it every now and again and keep it on the windowsill because that's where the wife loves to have it. So pop that there and pop the cover back on. You can see more of what K9 looks like. There. You've got a little bit of a bent towel, but we don't really pay attention to it. It's hard rubber, so just a bit of heat would straighten that back up again. I don't want to bend it too much in case it does become very fragile as the years go on. It's a little bit scuffed here and there, but she loves it. I'll just bring that back a bit. See that there? Turn it around for you. Now notice the livery is, when I say livery, I mean the colour of the shell. It's a light grey, and that's the colour that the original K9 was. Well, that's how I remember K9 anyway. Okay, what I'll do now is pause and then bring out the other one. So see you in a minute. So hello again. This is my version of K9. This was released by Character Options in 2014. Okay, I've started it this way because there's something I want to show you when I turn it around, something special. And that's why I hardly play with it. It's one of the reasons why I hardly play with it and use it. So, yeah, as you can see with the nose laser, it's in. It's not moving. Okay. The other subtle difference as well is not only with the livery, it's a darker grey, and the monitor on the side is a lighter grey, whereas in the last one it was darker. I'll put them together side by side at the end. On the top, you'll notice that there's no hook on the top. On the original one, there's a silver hook there, and on this one there isn't. And on the back, there used to be a hook there as well, and there's not on this one. Alright, so this is done more in the, I'd have to say, late 70s, early 80s version of K9, because of the tail. The tail was black originally. The original K9 in The Invisible Enemy, if I do believe, had a black tail, and this is that version with the black tail. And a deeper coloured collar. See, look at the colours on there, look at the colours of that collar. It stands out a lot more. And it still has the hook at the front, and there's a reason why it had hooks at the front and at the back and all that lot, and I'll explain at the end. when I move it out. So let's turn it around and you'll see the reason why it's special. So there we go. Have you noticed anything yet? Yeah, I'm sure you have. Well, if I go down here, that's John Leeson's autograph as K9. And what I did is I took the panel off, and when I went to the Exeter Comic Con that he appeared in, I took the panel separately and got him to sign it. So that's his signature in Sharpie. All right. Now the next thing that makes it special is this one. Matt Irving. Now I know a lot of fans know this, but there's some fans that don't. Matt Irving in the 80s was actually the radio controller of K9. So when we visited him in Exeter, he signed that for us, and he also talked a bit about the Mark II version, because that, and Sarah Jane, K9 and Company, which was a spin-off from Doctor Who, which he was involved in as well. And he spoke to us about why they stuck hooks on K9. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to, or before we start, I'll show you the controller as well. This is a controller, as you can see. It's totally different from the other one. For starters, it doesn't have the Doctor Who emblem on top now. And secondly, no aerial. So the aerial is all built inside. Okay. And the darker livery there. But it still does exactly the same. It says exactly the same things as the original. Right. So how you would get it started is I'd turn on. I better turn on the controls first before I do anything else. There's a switch on the back, on and off. Flick it to on. Yeah, that's that. That's in control. Next thing you do is you've got your panel on the side. You push it in and flicks it down. Then the same again. You've got, there's a button. Try me, off and on. So I'd flick it on. And ultimately, see the lights should be darker blue than that.
At 100% efficiency. This unit identified as K9 Mark II.
Okay. So let's put the cover back on. So I'm trying to do all this with one hand at the moment. I'm not going to get him to move forward and back because this table's not very big and it'll probably fall off. Okay, but the controls working along the lines of a tank, how a tank would work. Whereas if you push both controls forward, K9 will move forward. If you pulled both controls back, K9 will move back. This left-hand control, if you moved it down and push the other one to the right, push the other one upwards, K9 would go to the right. And the opposite way, if you push that one up and pulled that one back, K9 would go to his left. Okay, but they're all the buttons that do the voices, and we'll do them one at a time so you can see what happens or hear what happens. So we go and look at K9 as well. I'll bring that down.
Insufficient data, master. Negative, master. Affirmative, master. Engaging pursuit mode. That is a very silly question. Scanning now.
As you say in that one when he says scanning, now his ears move.
Danger. Danger, Master.
And you'll hear the computer noise next for when he's trying to work out some sums.
Interface established. Computing now.
And the last one, if you look at his laser, there it comes. Fires. And then his laser will go back in. There. And that's what's supposed to happen with the other one. Okay. And I'll keep this one up in my collection room because, of course, the autographs, and keep it in on the lower shelf to protect it from the sun so it doesn't fade. And basically, I clean it with a paintbrush and a damp cloth which has been sprayed with furniture polish, so it keeps it nice and clean. And as I say, I hardly use it, and I make sure the batteries are taken out so that they don't rot inside the K9 itself. As I said, this one came out in 2014. It's already 7 years old. But it's one of my prized possessions. Okay. What I want to do is pause the video again and put the other one up against the other K9, this K9, so you can see the differences yourself. Okay, so I'm pausing now. So hello again. Here we have the two K9s together. I'll just move my finger. We have my newer K9 and the older version of K9, which, as you can see, has got the I've turned it to the side where all the screws are now. I did talk about the hooks. They used to, as I say, there's one there at the front there. It focuses. One down there at the front and one at the back. I spoke to Matt about this, and he explained that the reason why they have hooks, or they had hooks made, is because, as with this one, K9 was always intermittent. He never hardly worked, and when he did, it was more or less a bit of a disaster. So what they used to do was tie fish wire to the front and to the back, and when you see him on different type of surfaces, especially outside mainly, when you see him on tracks or on cobbles and that lot, Sharda was one of the main stories, and Brighton Beach as well. That's the second time K9 gets blown up, basically, when he goes to water to get a ball. They had to tie fish wire to the front and to the back, and literally have them dragged by a camera operator or K9 operator, which possibly would have been Matt himself. And Matt would have to pull him along so it looked like he had some sort of movement. Later on in the series, they managed to sort it out, but especially with K9 and company, half the time he just wouldn't work. Especially along the country lanes, he wouldn't work. The country paths, they had to pull him along on the fish wire and basically make it look as if he was going on under his own steam. But when you speak to Matt, the way he rolls his eyes, and he says that the amount of times that they had to physically pull him along because he wouldn't move, because either the wheels underneath would jam and it wouldn't move, or the fact that it just wouldn't work at all. The fact that he had to keep pulling it along. He's quite open about it. And that's Matt's signature there. And if you didn't already know, Matt was also involved in Blake 7 as well. And he's one of the guys that created the Liberator spaceship. Okay, so Matt was quite involved with the BBC in prop making. And that's the other one. Right, I hope you all enjoyed that and got some benefit out of that. As I say, that's one of my favourite or my cherished possessions that I have regarding Doctor Who. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe and the like button down the bottom. The like button will be in this side. The subscribe button will be in this side. And feel free to leave me a comment. I'm more than welcome to read any comments and reply back if I've got the time. And all that's left to say is take care of yourselves and see you in the next video. Cheerio.